All right, guys, I just created the greatest guide in cryptocurrency to selling your own crypto at the top, being able to call the top accurately and actually cashing out and making money. I'm gonna tell you a secret, okay? This is a hidden truth. Okay, nobody will tell you this. It's actually really easy to make money in cryptocurrency. The whole market is basically going up. It's very asymmetrical. It does not matter what coin you pick. Eventually, it's going to pop off and nobody else will tell you this. But this is the part that most people miss. See, a fool and his money are soon parted. No, but seriously, I know all of you have heard of DMX, right? He's one of the biggest rap artists in the 1990s. The funny part is, you know, even though he had all this money, he ended up filing for bankruptcy in 2009. Okay, that's one. In court, he actually said that he only had $50,000 worth of assets. He's only making about $1,677 per month. Okay, he was basically broke, right? Another crazy part is at the same time, he was actually $1 million to $10 million worth of debt, including like $1.2 million worth of child support and some leased cars that he didn't even own in debt. He was basically a fool and his money was parted. And that's not the only case at all. I can go on forever. Bow Wow has been making music since he was 13, and actually in a court custody case, he admitted legally that he was only making $4,000 a month and only had $1,500 in his bank account. Okay, but it's not limited to just rappers. Let me explain. A guy named Billy Bob Harold Jr. in Texas won the lotto. He actually won $31 million winning the lotto in Texas. This guy ended up going completely broke in 2 years and actually committed suicide. And I know all of you have heard of that guy, Stephen Thomas, that literally has $321 million locked on a key, and he only has 2 password attempts left to get that money back. Again, I'm going to say it again and beat it into your head.
A fool and his money are soon parted.
Actually, this exact phrase is time tested. It's approximately 460 years old, and people have been using it for a very long time, so that definitely holds some truth. Remember, in cryptocurrency, everybody is a genius until they're not. So if you've made money in cryptocurrency and you're, reaping these great benefits and everything like that, let's not lose our money, right? Let's actually cash out at the right time and make smart decisions. All right, guys, and trust me, I got you. It's one of the most important subjects you could possibly talk about in cryptocurrency. Pretty much every video I've ever made, just throw it out of the window if you can't actually make money. So I did you guys, my subscribers, a favor. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I basically just made a complete checklist, and I'm going to show you exactly where to get it at the end of the video, and we're going to go over it together, and I'll show you exactly. It's called the Guide to the Top, the ultimate cryptocurrency cash out checklist. I literally made it just for you guys, my subscribers. Thanks for being a part of the family. This video is brought to you by Fundamental Secrets. Pretty much everything I know is combined into this digital course. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Go to thefundamentalsecrets.com to get access and apply. I wanted to make this video as thorough as I possibly can, detailed, okay, the exact step-by-step, every little detail. None of it's, out at all. I'm not gonna charge you anything. All you have to do is go to the website and download it, and you can follow it with me. This is something that you share with your family and friends. This is something that, like, if anybody's talking about cryptocurrency and they're having irrational exuberance, you go ahead and hit that share button and you send it to them so you can bring them down to reality, guys. The bull run's not going to be forever. Let's think about the situation right here, because I actually personally have gone through it myself. Let's take a little visualization experiment so you can feel what I'm talking about. So let's say hypothetically you got into cryptocurrency about a year and a half ago when I was first screaming it on the internet. You dropped $2,000 into a coin and it ended up 100xing. So you turned $2,000 into $200,000. You're freaking out. Your whole life changed. You're in that movie where it's like slow motion and everything's like changing around you. You change your friend's life, right? They think you're a genius. Your parents think you're a genius. You drop out of school, right? Maybe you drop out of your job, whatever. You quit your job because you're making so much money. Again, you turn $2,000 into $200,000. I want you to think about maybe the trips that you've taken, right? Maybe you've traveled the world because you have all this money and you could trade from your laptop. Or maybe, you started buying higher quality foods and dining more often. Or maybe you rented a yacht with your friends and had a whole, blast or whatever the case is. Bought yourself a car, put a down payment on the house. You basically did pretty much everything you've been wanting to do because of how much money you've been making with cryptocurrency, and your whole life changed forever. Literally, your whole life changed forever. So let's think about a situation when you're actually in a hotel. Okay, you're traveling. Let's say you're in Brazil or something like that. right? You wake up from your sleep, you look at your phone, and boom, you lost 30% of all the money you have, in cryptocurrency, okay? You lost 30% off the table, just pretty much gone almost overnight. You couldn't anticipate this, right? It was so random. It was just like an overnight crash, but you're used to it, right? You've been in cryptocurrency for a long time. The market is extremely volatile. So without even looking at a chart, you call your friends, you call your family, and you tell them, hey, let's double down. Let's find some more cash, dump it into the market, and let's make some more cryptocurrency. Let's make some more money, right? So double down, let's dollar cost average and make some more money. You spend the whole day, you have fun or whatever the case is in Brazil, you do your whole vacation thing and you move on, and then you go back to sleep. Then you wake up the next morning, you check your Blockfolio or whatever app you use, and boom, it's down 30% again. I want you guys to feel this, right? I want you to feel the pain that you get from your gut, right? The pressure on your shoulders. I want you to feel it, because if you don't feel it now, you're actually going to feel it, right? So think about it, right? The fear, right? All that fear that's happening. Your portfolio is down another 30%. You went from $200,000. Now your portfolio is looking like what's 60% off the table? 60% off the table is $120,000. So you went from $200,000 to $80,000 in 48 hours. Okay. I want you to think about this right now. Think about this in your head. So you pull out your laptop, you take it a little bit more serious, start looking at some technical analysis, some fundamental analysis, what's going on in the market. You pull up the 4-hour time frame on Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever coins you're holding, and you see a move happening. You see a bullish move happening. Is this the market reversal, right? Is this the time we were waiting for? Should we buy more cryptocurrency? You call your friends and family again and say, hey, and maybe you don't call them, but maybe for yourself, you put more cash in the actual, cryptocurrency. Maybe the cash you have for your vacation, you end up going all in into cryptocurrency. And you guys probably know what happens next, okay? You go to sleep, you wake up, and boom, again, pretty much all of your money has been wiped off in a short period of time, and you did not even slightly anticipate it. While you're having fun, people around you are suffering. And I say this because if you've made money in crypto, if you've been watching my channel, you are a leader, right? You are leading the people around you. And if you don't take this into consideration, you could be leading them in the wrong direction. So you have to take this very serious and have 100% responsibility for everything that happens in your life. So you take a look at your portfolio and realize it's down 82%. You went from $200,000 to just over 20 grand or just under 20 grand. You're freaking out. You've lost everything you've ever had. Your friends think you're a scammer, and you literally have to change your whole life on a dime. And this is a very negative experience. The worst part about the situation is that you had financial independence, financial freedom at your fingertips. You're literally at the verge of changing your life and everybody's life around you, and it all went away because of your greed. So I don't want you guys to run into this situation. I want you to feel it before it actually happens. Now, I know it might sound a little exaggerated, but let me explain something a little bit deeper than that. Remember, Bitcoin dropped from $20,000 all the way down to $3,250. That's literally an 83% loss. If you held Bitcoin all this time, you lost 83% of your money. That is no joke. Okay, guys, that's no joke. That's like turning $100,000 into $17,000. You want to do it the other way around. You don't want to go back, right? Now, an even worse situation is Ethereum. If you would have held Ethereum through the last cycle, you'd have lost 94% of your money. 94% of all your money in 2018, if you would have held all the way to the bottom. It went from $1,450 some odd dollars all the way down to $80 per ETH. That's a 94% loss. That's like turning $100,000 into $6 grand. Think about these situations. Cryptocurrency is extremely volatile. I'm tired of people thinking that this market is just going to go up forever with, no type of repercussions. You have to plan ahead. You have to strategize. Let me show you some more. This is an interview from 2018. Look how crazy they're talking right now.
Bouncing back, now trading above 4,000 and rallying about 15% just since Monday. So is this the start of a real rally or just a head fake? Let's bring in Michael Buchella, a partner at Block Tower Capital, a leading crypto investment fund. Welcome back, Michael.
Thank you for having me.
So you make the argument that you think that Bitcoin is moving from weak hands to strong hands. I thought that's what happened from 20 to 6. So what's happened between 6 and 3 and change?
So it's a long distress cycle, and I think the weak hand to strong hand argument is actually quite relevant now. The problem is strong money, strong hands are actually quite patient. And so I think a lot of the volatility and the gap risk we see in the market right now is a function of the participants that are still there. And I think, as we just mentioned about distress cycles, I think we're actually in a significant distress cycle in crypto. And the last leg of that is typically the most volatile and most short-lived. And so when you think about has the bottom set in, I think you probably have one more leg lower.
Which is how low?
I won't make a prognostication about where the price will go.
Are we talking below 3?
It could fall another 50%, 2,000 from here. But I think that opportunity will be very short-lived. And I think the level we're at right now is a great long-term entry point if you're accumulating. And so if you think about the best investors in the world, the Howard Marks of the world, they're very patient. And they wait for that last leg of the distress cycle to set in. But the smartest money is moving in, right? You've seen MIT, Harvard, Stanford, Yale, right? They're all entering this space. They're entering through the private side in the venture markets.
Which is different from investing in the cryptocurrencies
Which is quite different, right? So that's the private side of the market.
Okay.
And so, most of those portfolios are investing in companies who are building the infrastructure for the broader crypto asset space, which includes the public markets.
Now, I'm not sitting here trying to spread fear. I'm just trying to wake you up, okay? I'm trying to wake you up. Let's think about this in a rational way. Okay, and I'm also going to show you a solution. When's the right time to cash out? Exactly how are you going to anticipate the market? And I'm not going to just give you price points because price points change, and I'm a human and I'm man enough to say right now that even if I set a price point, I'm probably going to be wrong. Price points are actually doing you a disservice because it's giving you the false information, because it's going to change almost like there's no way anyone's going to accurately predict the top of Bitcoin so far out. Okay, maybe closer they might be able to predict it, but right now, no. If they put that video out, it's clickbait, false information. They're submitting to your wants and needs so they can get some views and some watch time. So I'm going to fix this by actually showing you what to do and not just giving you entertainment. Okay, so I want you guys to pull out a notepad or something, write this down on your phone because it's really important. Personally, I say you write it down put it on your wall, or type it up, print it out, and put it on your wall so you never forget it. This is the most important variable in anybody's cryptocurrency portfolio. And I want you to write this down. It's called confirmation bias. Now, let me read the definition, okay? So confirmation bias is the tendency to search for, interpret, and recall information in a way that confirms or supports one's prior beliefs and values. People display this bias when they select information that supports their views, ignoring contrary information, or when they interpret ambiguous evidence as supporting their existing thoughts. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and scare you, but technically, there's no way to actually completely obliterate confirmation bias. You're always going to have a mild version of confirmation bias no matter what you do. The only way to mitigate it is knowing what I'm telling you here in the rest of this video and actually educating yourself and making sure that you prepare yourself for this trick that your mind plays on you. So if you really think about it, the whole market and all these whales, people with large amounts of cryptocurrency, are against you, and your own brain is against you. Okay, think about this.
Who get money that's bring? Who make decisions that bring? Who make the hits that been bring?
So let me whip out the checklist, okay? And let's start running through this together. If you don't have it, go to the link in the description below and go ahead and download it. You should immediately get it. You can pop it open. You can fill in the blank, do whatever you want. It's a complete checklist to talk about exactly how to cash out cryptocurrency. Let's go over it together. So the first one, step 1, avoid searching in a biased way. When you do your research, try not to be biased. Most people look for information to confirm what they think, okay? Nobody looks for information on both sides of the equation. That's just the truth, unless you're smart, of course. Experiments have found people tend to test their hypothesis in a one-sided way by searching for evidence consistent with their current hypothesis rather than searching through all relevant evidence. They phrase questions to receive an affirmative answer that supports their theory. Make sure you're not doing your research in a biased way. Now, this is not the complete thing. I'm going to give you an actual checklist. I'm just going through some things that can play tricks on you when you're actually doing your research in the actual time and the actual situation to actually cash out, right? Step 2, avoid interpreting the information in a biased way. So not only do people research in a biased way, but they interpret it in a biased way. If you give the same information to two people with two different viewpoints, they almost every single time will come to different conclusions, which makes no sense at all. But this is step 2. This is another form. This is a one part of confirmation bias that you need to avoid. A team at Stanford University conducted a study involving people who felt strongly about capital punishment, with half of them in favor and half against. What they did is they gave a brief overview of some studies that either conflicted or confirmed their bias. After the brief overview, people actually changed their mind a little bit about what they were thinking. Now, when they actually gave the full review and they gave them a full article to read, which by the way was completely fake, right? They gave them a fake article confirming or denying. It's almost all of them stuck to their guns. So pretty much all of them just believed exactly what they thought before they even came inside of the establishment. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because, again, like I said, when people look at information, Okay, they can have two different viewpoints and come to two different, completely different conclusions. And that's because another element of confirmation bias. So number one, don't research in a biased way. Number two, interpret the information the right way and avoid trying to look at it in a biased way. And number three, I know I do this a lot. Avoid recalling memory in a biased way. Now, there's a lot of theories behind this, but they basically say, most of them say that the reason why, your memory is so vivid and you think of it in a certain way is because your memory only stores information that confirms your bias. If there's anything you're slightly unsure about when it comes to your research, make sure you actually go and click open the chart or actually click open the article and read it right there and then use this to avoid confirmation bias. Okay, that's just one element of this cash out strategy. If your brain's not in the right place, then nothing I tell you after this point is gonna make sense and actually work for you. So what's the actual cash out strategy? Let me explain. I call this the check yourself checklist. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to go into these things. Now, there's a couple things you want to avoid. Do not let somebody else make that decision. Okay, when you're actually cashing out your cryptocurrency, I'm telling you guys, I say this about the coins. Now, it's great. Go watch, some YouTuber pump a coin and you probably make money. And to be honest, it's not a bad strategy. It's a bad strategy, but it's not that bad, right? Because you'll make money sometimes. When it comes to cashing out, do not wait for a YouTuber to drop a video to tell you to cash out. Don't do it. Not even me. I'll probably try to tell you, but it'll probably be too late because it takes time to edit videos. Just understand that you have to make this decision by yourself. You cannot let anybody else make this decision for you. Two, don't cash out all at once because we could be wrong. You have to also accept that you could be wrong about cashing out. There could be something called the flippening, where traditional finance completely goes all in on crypto and cryptocurrency is the primary form of currency in the world. If that ever happens, I say I'm gonna leave about 20 to 30% of my crypto always, no matter what. I'm gonna let it go to zero. I do not care. I'm leaving 20 to 30%. And the reason for that is because it's the biggest transfer of wealth humans have ever seen before. So that 20 to 30%, it could 1,000x, right? So just pay attention to what's going on in the world, guys, and never try to be completely correct. Don't cash out all your cryptocurrency. And don't beat yourself up if you cash out too early. So if you make the mistake of cashing out too early, which I've done in the past, don't beat yourself up because you still made a whole bunch of money. Why don't you look at how much money you made, and you can't be mad about that. It's going to pretty much beat every traditional financial asset in the last decade. So you'll be okay if you cash out too early and don't, perfectly cash out at the top. Don't worry, who cares? As long as you made your money, that's all that matters. All right, so there's a couple of prediction models that I recommend you guys look at, and there's more. This is incomplete list because things change all the time. And I'm not perfect. This list is never going to be perfect, right? I'm consistently updating it. There's a couple ones that you should definitely be aware of, right? The golden ratio multiplier. Go look it up on lookintobtc.com. And you can also find the stock to flow model. Google search these things. There's also stock to flow X. Bitcoin's logarithmic growth curves. Remember, we're looking at everything in terms of Bitcoin because Bitcoin moves the market, right? So if you look in Bitcoin and the total market capitalization and put some logarithmic growth curves on that, well, there's your answer. Also, look at big time frame moving averages. The popular ones, of course, are the 300-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, and then the smaller ones, of course, as well. Okay, so moving averages are really good. Now, when it comes to on-chain data, we have the RHODL ratio. Okay, this is on-chain metrics. You can find this and look into BTC, I believe. Look into bitcoin.com. Also, reserve risk, relative realized profit / loss. Okay, now, all these things, if you guys want more details on it, I can make another video. Just let me know and leave a comment below on specific ones because it could take me 4 days to explain all this, right? So there's some other information that you can probably keep your eye out for, okay? Google Trends. Make sure to keep watching the search terms in cryptocurrency, right? Because if people stop searching it, it could be a definition that, it could be the bull run's going to end. Now, I will say that, this is usually the herd, right? So usually it's the people that, retail is on Google search, right? People that are not investors, the vast majority. So the minority, right, are the smart money. Basically, 1% are going to make money, right? So the minority is the smart money and then the majority. So don't take Google Trends too serious, but it's a good indicator, right? You can also look at search traffic in general on websites, right? Just to make sure, keep your eye out for all that stuff. Now, this is really important. It's crazy. So many people really don't set you up for success. But basically, I want you guys to think about a situation where, for example, Coinbase goes down or something, right? Coinbase goes down all the time. Literally, when the market goes up, Coinbase goes down. When the market goes down, the Coinbase goes down, right? Think about all the exchanges are going to go down when there's a massive flash attack, right? Just like what we talked about in a scenario when it drops 30%. Imagine what's going to happen to all the exchanges. How are you going to cash out if all your money is on one exchange? So you need to have a strategy to where you have 20 exchanges and you could easily move your money from your wallet to any exchange you want to cash out. You have to have this strategy. We have a whole thing on fundamental secrets, but I'm just telling you right now, have multiple exchanges, okay? You can use 5. I mean, even 20 is probably even better than that. Make sure you know how to use a DEX, a decentralized exchange, because these don't typically go down ever, right? So if you have to cash out to USDC, learn how to use a DEX. Cash out into stable coins in some cases, not all cases, because you can actually generate yield, right? So bring it to the next part of the strategy. How to make money on the downside. You can actually short the market on FTX cryptocurrency derivatives exchange. Now, there's no affiliate code because I do not care. You can make money on the way down as well, so you don't have to feel bad about cryptocurrency not going to the moon. Liquidity provision. You can make in some cases up to 20% APY, but I do not recommend going higher than that. Avoid impermanent loss. Long explanation. We're not going to talk about it, but the way you can avoid it is one-sided liquidity and stable coins. If you guys want more information on this, go ahead and leave a comment below. We'll talk more about this. Don't get scammed, okay? That's probably the biggest one when it comes to providing liquidity. Only mess around with high-quality exchanges and high-quality decentralized exchanges, because remember, you're locking your money up there and you can just lose it all for like 20% APY, which is like super high risk, low reward. It doesn't make sense. Also, play it safe when it comes to liquidity provision and not to profit. So when you think about providing liquidity, always think the safe route. Never think of like, 1,000x altcoins or something like that. It's good practice. A couple other things you can do. Cash flow strategies. You can start affiliate marketing to get more money to buy the crypto up. You can make a product, consulting, whatever the case is. Find other ways to make money while the market is down. Because when the market comes back up, you'll have a business that's entrenched in the market. So when it comes up, you'll be a big player in the market, because these businesses are not trying to make it in a bear market, right? So if you make it and you can survive in a bear market, you're going to definitely survive in a bull market and make a lot of money. This is how I came up, guys. This is how I made a lot of money. How to actually cash out. And we're going to conclude it here in this part of the actual checklist. But basically, find major sell points. And the way I do that is by looking at these big data science models and these big ratios, which we talked about earlier, right? Find the big sell points and go ahead and put orders in there. You can even put orders today if you wanted to, right? Split your portfolio into 5 to 10 equal distributions and reverse dollar cost average out of the market. So instead of dollar cost averaging in, you're doing the same thing to get out. Okay. And I usually split it up into 5 to 10. I'll probably most likely split it up to closer to 5 because it just makes it easier for my life. Don't get greedy and stick to your plan and cash out on these major points that you made for yourself. Don't, like, when it comes to the time to cash out, get scared. Just remember, you should be more scared of the dump, not of losing some potential. Because when you look at the market, it's asymmetrical, right? So if it goes up 500%, it's therefore not asymmetrical anymore. And you're doing yourself a disservice by not cashing out, right? The risk is getting way too high. Again, reverse DCA and stick to the plan at all costs. Keep about 20 to 30%, like we talked about in the beginning of the video, in crypto, because you never know, okay? You never know. It can just keep going forever. Now, where to go from there? Look for other asymmetrical markets. It could be the stock market. It could be, shoes, right? It could be some collector's item, cards, right? There's other asymmetrical markets all the time. You just got to keep your eye out for it. Now, all this new capital that you just cashed out of cryptocurrency, you can make a lot more. Wait for the bottom and buy cryptocurrency back. Now, that takes longer, time, so it could take years, but I did it, and you can do it too. Find long-term sustainable wealth growing investment mediums. Again, like I said, guys, a fool and his money are soon parted. Don't be a fool. Now, I'm gonna conclude this video because I want to make sure everybody's in the right state of mind and understand what they're doing. When I say things like this, I really mean it. It doesn't mean that the market's gonna crash tomorrow. I'm just saying, be prepared. But that's it for this video, guys. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism. Subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Catch you in the next one.